third graders, Mrs. D here, getting ready to start the uppercase letters of the alphabet. Make sure you either have a whiteboard like mine and a marker or a blank sheet of writing paper so that you can practice, and then of course line paper for when you're ready to move onto line paper. Boys and girls, now we're on to the uppercase letters. We'll be doing 2 at a time. We're starting with down curve letters. So just like the lowercase letters, learning to write them in cursive means that you write them according to the stroke that they start with. So the first 2 letters we're going to do today are A, which is just like a lowercase a, it's just bigger, and O, which is similar to a lowercase O with one difference. I'm going to show them both to you. They're both down curve letters, so they start at the top. Here's capital A. Down, curve, and around, slant, undercurve. So there's a capital A. It's just like a lowercase a, just bigger. So it should be easy for you to write. Now, the one thing I want to tell you about uppercase letters is that not all uppercase letters connect to the word they're attached to or their start. It all has to do with how they end. And because an uppercase A ends with an undercurve, it is a letter that connects to the rest of the word when you start a word with a capital A. So I'll show you again. Down, curve, and around, slant, undercurve, down, curve, and around, slant, undercurve. That is your capital A. I want to show you 2 very common capital A mistakes that kids make, and it has to do with this part here. Watch. Down, curve, and around, slant, undercurve. This is a mistake. There should be no loop anywhere in your uppercase A. Watch again. Down, curve, and around, retrace your steps, slant, undercurve. No loop here. This is a no-no. It should not look like that. So be careful. That's one common A mistake I see. And the other common A mistake is this. There shouldn't be any space here either. And this happens when you don't connect this part of the letter to this part. Down, curve, and around, rejoin yourself right there. Close up that hole. Slant, undercurve. So watch out for this. That's a no-no. And watch out for a loop in your A. That's a no-no too. Those are the most common A mistakes I see. So now I'm going to show you a few words that start with capital A. Remember, boys and girls, words begin with capital letters when they are proper nouns. So here's one everyone should be able to write. Down, curve, and around, slant, undercurve. Here's the first one. And here's the second one. We'll do 2 months. April starts with a capital A. And so does August. There they are. America, April, and August start with A. And we have a few kids in the class whose name starts with A too. So let's write their names also. Here we go. Arian, Ada, Arnav. All right, and if your name starts with a capital A, boys and girls, you can practice now. From now on, every time you write your name, go ahead and write it in cursive. Okay, so there's your A. I'm going to get a new board here, and I'm going to show you capital O. It's very similar to a lowercase o, except for one important part. Here is your lowercase o. Down, curving around, give it a hook. Lowercase. O, capital. Down, curving around, give it a hook that pops inside and outside. O. Down, curving around, give it a hook that goes on the inside and out. Down, curving around, give it a hook on the inside and out. Down, curving around, give it a hook that loops inside. Down, curving around, give it a hook that goes outside. Now, I'm wondering, just by looking at this O, if you'll be able to tell, do you think that this O will connect to other parts of the words that start with capital O? If you said no, you're right. And the reason is because it ends at the very top. So I'm going to write a word. I'll write the word October that starts with a capital O so you can see it doesn't connect to the rest of the word. And there's a few uppercase cursive letters that don't. O is one of them. And the reason is, boys and girls, because it ends way up here. So there's your O for October. And here's the rest of the word. And you'll have to be careful. October. You'll have to be careful when you're writing capital words that start with O so that you don't leave too much space in between the O and the rest of the word. This is about enough space there. So there's October. I don't think anybody in our class has a name that starts with O, but I can think of an O name, 2 O names actually. Maybe a third grader in one of the other classes has an O name like Olivia. Or Owen. These begin with capital O as well. So there you have it, boys and girls. There's your capital A and there's your capital O. I'm just going to show you really quickly on line paper what they should look like. They both start at the top. And I will write the lowercase version of each of them next to the big one so you can see the difference. Here's A. Down, curve, and around, slant, undercurve. There's my capital A. The little a is exactly the same, just smaller. So capital A should be an easy first capital letter to start with. There's A. Here's O. Down, curve, and around. Give it a hook that loops inside. There's your capital O. There's your lowercase o. The lowercase o doesn't have that loop on the inside. Down, curve, and around, slant, undercurve. Down, curve, and around, slant, undercurve. Down, curve, and around. Give it a hook that loops inside. Down, curve, and around. Give it a hook that loops inside. All right, boys and girls, you're off to practice on your own. Remember, I'd like you to check your writing for size, shape, slant, and spacing, and circle your best work. The more you practice cursive, the more beautiful your cursive will be. See you next time.